Back on the Morning Brew, Larry Aarons with Ember Hindren, and we have Elizabeth Becker joining us. She is the Curator of Education for the Albuquerque Museum, and she's here representing the museum, the city of Albuquerque. Welcome, Elizabeth. Good to have you here.
Thanks. Thanks for having us back.
Is your job as awesome as it sounds?
It is very fun. I mean, my job is to just come up with lots of ways to have people use the museum, from the smallest folks to the tallest folks. So
I love your family art days. We have
Yes.
had so much fun on Saturdays going there, and then you produce this wonderful works of art and you bring them home, and they're hanging in our house is full of homemade art projects in the Albuquerque Museum.
Yes.
And you just go in, there's no charge.
Right.
And they have all the materials, Larry, laid out for you.
Oh,
and
neat.
I mean, you don't have to buy a single thing. Everything is ready, and then they clean it up for you when you're done.
Yep.
No
So,
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful opportunities to be creative all
Yes,
the time there.
and you have art classes going on all week.
Yes, yes. This summer we have a series of art classes for elementary school kids and art camp. So every week there's a new series of classes going on. Next week we have a great puppet program, and that one's still open. So if people want to
good.
do that, 6 to 10-year-olds program going on, and different classes all throughout the summertime.
Awesome, but you have a new exhibition starting. I tried to go yesterday, but I realized I pulled up and it's closed on Monday. Oh,
Yes, one day we are close.
I wanted to do good prep for you, Larry, but no.
You were going to go all in
I'm
on
so
this one.
gung-ho.
Yes.
Yeah, because I love, Christian and Jean-Claude are really, really famous
Yes.
for wrapping big, iconic buildings as gift wrapping, as packages.
Right. So a couple of works that might be well known. You mentioned a wrapping project a number of years ago, and we were just talking about they wrapped the Reichstag in Berlin, and this is again for 2 weeks in this beautiful silvery fabric. I don't know how large that building is, but just the amount of fabric, the engineering it took to do that. They had to actually, that was the first art object that actually Parliament had to agree to have that actually wrapped. And what was so interesting is the time period of that is when it was unwrapped was when the government came back to Berlin, kind of reinvigorated the Reichstag because it hadn't been used for a long time. Another project that probably many people are aware of is the gates in New York City in Central Park. And these were over 1,000 fabric gates, beautiful saffron fabric. Yeah, that's an early sketch of the idea. Again, these projects took a long time. They originally started talking to the governments around us in the 70s, and that project happened in the 90s. And again, what an experience for people to be able, those gates covered all of the walkways, people could run and walk underneath them, you could hear the fabric. I hear so many stories of people that are really affected by this. And then the next project that's actually very close by that they're working on now is Over the River. And this is on the Arkansas River, Salida, Colorado, about an hour and a half from the Denver area, and they're going to suspend translucent fabric over the river. So when you're underneath there on a raft, you can see the sky above. If you're driving up above on the road, you can see the reflection of the clouds. Again, these works that really respond to the environment.
It's just incredible. It's hard to describe, but they even wrapped an island.
Yes, in Miami in bright pink fabric, which they said reflected the flamingos and the pants of some of the residents there. So again, they just try to respond to, and these projects are these amazing feats, as they say, take many, many years, decades to really come to fruition.
And who are Christo and Jean-Claude?
Yeah, so Christo is the part of the project. He creates all of the preparatory images like the one that you saw earlier, and that's what's featured in our exhibition. He's the brainchild behind a lot of the vision. Jean-Claude is very much the behind-the-scenes project manager. She was the one who worked with a lot of the community organizations and governments to make a lot of these things happen. Whenever you watch, there's a series of films based on many of these projects, and if you watch it, you see her on the phone all the time negotiating with people. Unfortunately, she passed a couple of years ago, so he's been trying to follow through with these next few projects on his own. But life partners in these projects they were.
Huh.
So tell us about the Tom Golden collection that you're going to be exhibiting now at the museum.
So it's these wonderful drawings that were done by Christo for many of these projects. These are not like architectural drawings. They're not, I mean, these are very vibrant, beautiful drawings that really give you a sense of where the project is. They've got a lot of visual interest all on their own, even if you didn't know what the projects were. Some of them include collaging, so you see a building actually wrapped. So he's thinking about how that might look. You're seeing some of the fabrics that they're using in the projects. So you see this whole idea behind these projects, how the artist works. And Tom Golden worked with Jean-Claude and Christo on one of their first projects, Running Fence, back in California, and he became a fan immediately and started buying their works. And that is really how they fund these massive projects, is by selling these works.
The minute I was on the computer over looking at our notes, Larry, and when I read the Christo and Jean-Claude collection, I went online and I immediately said, Andreas, get your stuff. We're going to go to the art museum. We have to go see this collection. It's that cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's that cool that they could
I
actually
believe you.
put these things together. You know, they'll have like a whole wall or just miles and miles and miles of umbrellas.
Yes.
You know, and a valley with, you know, rippling.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's so hard to describe, but
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yes. So,
Opens July 2nd.
actually, the exhibit is open right now.
Yeah.
What happens on July 2nd is the first of 3 films that we're going to feature, because of course we can't have the final works that happen out in the environment. Those are temporary. They're they work decades to put on a project that lasts 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
And one of the main ways that they document it is through these fabulous documentaries, which give you a really behind the scenes. They're very dramatic. You know, you get to see where the project is kind of starting to fail, you know, what they have to do to kind of keep it going. All of these people that are involved in the project.
So many moving parts.
Yes,
I can't even
exactly.
imagine.
So these are very exciting films, and on July the 2nd at 11 o'clock, we're going to show Running Fence, which is the first of 3 films that will show first Wednesdays of the month through the run of the exhibition at 11 o'clock.
The title of the exhibition again is?
Christo and Jean-Claude, the Tom Golden Collection.
Beautiful.
Great.
It's up now, Albuquerque Museum. Go see it.
It's a world-class museum too, by the way. And
Think
Slate
so.
Street Cafe is there, and they serve a
Yummy.
mean cappuccino. Yeah.
Great.
If you ever want to find me, I'm always at the Albuquerque Museum.
Elizabeth Becker, Curator of Education at the Albuquerque Museum, our guest, and the Morning Brew continues in a moment.
Great. Thank you so much.